But there are still too many people trapped in the margins, not just older workers, but anyone who struggles with a disability, who desperately wants to work, but faces barriers, prejudice, and a lack of proper support. And let's be honest, if you have a disability, you face all sorts of barriers. They've been built up over many years, in some cases many decades. They've become ingrained in the attitudes of employers and the prejudices of colleagues. We have made progress in breaking down old legal barriers and creating new legal protections for disabled people. Let's never forget in this party that the first Disability Discrimination Act was introduced in the 1990s under John Major's government by an up-and-coming young minister called William Hague. But now, in most cases, we need to be tackling attitudes, not laws. Those outdated attitudes about disability and disabled people have endured for far too long. I'm determined that we can help break down the barriers disabled people still face. Everyone, all of us, have been inspired by our amazing Paralympic athletes this summer. 64 golds, 39 silver, 44 bronze medals. A celebration of what people can do. And during the summer, we heard the stories of those who've overcome incredible obstacles, horrible, life-changing events, to compete on a global stage. Let's thank them for an incredible spectacle. Thank them for making our country proud. But why should we limit this kind of celebration of disabled people to once every 4 years? I want us to be ambitious for and inspired by the millions of people across the country who have similar disabilities but who need the opportunity to fulfill their dream. People like Molly, who you've just heard from. The fact is, 7 million people of working age have a disability in this country. That's 7 million people who've been given a more difficult path than most of us. And as our Paralympic athletes prove, they are absolutely not to be written off. Most people do want to work, but far too many are denied that opportunity. I'm committed to helping disabled people. We will soon publish a green paper together with the Department of Health, setting out a range of policy ideas to help them show what they can do. And we're launching a competition for small businesses to find new, innovative ways to help anyone diagnosed with a health condition to stay in work. So I say this to anyone who wants to work. We stand with you. We will support you and will help you realize your dreams, to help you be the best you can be, to reach for your personal best and to achieve whatever goals you aim for. I will work tirelessly to give disabled people better life chances. It is the right thing to do.
Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you to Lawrence as well. I'm sure that we'll all agree that was a really, really good speech. My name is Molly Hyndman-Cunningham, and I'm 19 years old. I am in my second year of my undergraduate degree at the University of York, reading law. I have a part-time job in Boots on a Saturday, and I am disabled. I have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, type 3. EDS is a heterogeneous group of inheritable disorders of connective tissue. It's characterized by skin extensibility, joint hypermobility, and tissue fragility. It's caused by a defect in protein called collagen, which is the main building block for strength and support within the body. So as you can imagine, if the protein itself is deficient, it can wreak havoc with the rest of your body. Some examples of the places affected are your joints, your ligaments, tendons, and cartilage. Ehlers-Danlos Support UK estimates that 1 in 5,000 people are diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Due to the rarity of its nature, it's extremely hard to get a diagnosis and receive appropriate care and support and pain management with your condition. So much so that recently Professor Rodney Graham stated that no other disease in the history of modern medicine has been neglected in such a way as EDS. I was diagnosed when I was 15, and I was just starting my A-levels, and I was getting the answers to all the questions that I had. I was having chronic joint dislocations and subluxations, chronic joint, limb and back pain and fatigue, gastrointestinal dysfunction, urinary dysfunction and easy bruising. Now these as separate symptoms do not amount to anything serious. However, all of them together at the same time can make life pretty unbearable. Saying that I am disabled comes with a burden of proof because I am not notably disabled, I'm not physically disabled. And it's a word that casts doubt and embarrassment and opens up the floodgates to scrutiny and questions, such as, you haven't got a wheelchair, or you don't look ill, or try this herbal remedy, or have you read this book, it changed my life. The one that always gets me is, you're too young to have that. Wait until you get to my age, then you'll know what joint pain feels like. I would claim the hardest part of having an invisible, diagnosed and life-changing illness is not the debilitating pain, the long-term medication, the inability to keep up with friends and do things that a normal 19-year-old would do. Nor is the hardest part of having EDS linked to complications with high doses of medication that do eradicate the pain but tend to knock you out for days on end. Nor is it the flare-ups that make it extremely difficult to do anything, even to move, to the point where it feels like volts of electricity are running through your body and settling in each joint and limb, making it very difficult to put on a jumper, to wash my hair, to walk down the stairs, and even sometimes turn the page of a book. But none of these are the hardest parts of having EDS. The hardest part is the doubt by people around you and the questioning of the validity of your condition. But as Plato once said, opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. I haven't allowed my condition to become part of my identity. I do not disclose it on any forms, and not even my university or my job know. I was told when I was 15 years old, whilst having aspirations of becoming a barrister in criminal law, to focus on a desk job, a 9-to-5, and that I was very unlikely to be able to hold down anything else due to constant sickness and extra support. I was also told don't expect to live independently or unaided, as with a condition that consists of good days and bad days, mostly bad, it can be a predicate. I cannot be a normal 19-year-old. I can't go out with my friends. I can't even consider certain activities. I can't attend all my lectures, keep to deadlines, and still lead the typical student life of late nights and 9 a.m.s. It's so embarrassing cancelling last minute or not even be able to include yourself in certain activities, and therefore becoming known as flaky or no fun or boring. Knowing that I have to implement restrictions in every aspect of my life and having to take extra time to complete the simplest of tasks, like putting on a pair of jeans, is heartbreaking. Some days I can be in so much pain that I find it difficult to get out of bed. And washing myself and getting dressed is an achievement some days for me. When I was told to put restrictions on my life, I completely disregarded that, and I'm so glad that I did. I love my course at university. I love the people that I've met and that I live with. And I love my job, and it truly gives me a sense of self-worth and importance. Knowing that at the end of each and every month I am earning my own money that I worked for is so very rewarding, and it's a boost both mentally and physically. I can't stress enough how amazing it feels to be part of a team, to have work friends, to be in an environment which is supportive whilst getting paid to do something that I enjoy. I think it's essential that more people with disabilities are given this opportunity to work, as often a mental barrier can be put in place when you know that you'll need constant extra support, perhaps time off, And a lot of employers, you might think that who would want to employ someone who doesn't know if they'll be able to come into work the next day and complete the task that they've been employed for? I broke this mental barrier for myself. And with meeting a vast array of people during every shift, I now feel reintegrated into society. Because when I was 15 and I was told all these things, I shut myself off from the world. I didn't want to know. I thought, that's it for me. I'll never go to university. I'll never hold down the job, my dream job that I really want to do. It's improved my confidence and my self-worth in a way that I never thought was possible. And it's made my conditions somewhat more manageable and bearable. I didn't take my diagnosis as a given truth. I challenged it. And now I am chair of the Global Foundation for the Elimination of Domestic Violence Youth Council, in which we have 22 universities in the UK alone with ambassadors in, and we also have a youth council in Johannesburg, South Africa, New York and Ottawa, Canada. I'm also a student ambassador for UK Says No More, which is a domestic violence and sexual assault charity, and I'm an ambassador for Law Student Help, which is a legal website that helps students at university. It's so easy to begin to lose yourself in the face of adversity. With long nights and what feels like even longer days, you can begin to feel completely out of sync with your body and forget who you are. You begin to forget what it used to be like without constant pain and question if there ever really was a time. With working, I have found an inner stability and less self-sabotage. You begin a routine which motivates you and gives you something to work towards. Through work, I built my confidence back up to prove my diagnosis wrong and the restrictions that are prescribed with it wrong. And now it's time for all people with disabilities to have this opportunity. Thank you so much for your